These shagbarks are a bit special. They come from a grove a couple hours north of here. They're the northernmost self-sustaining population of shagbark hickories. They're also very densely growing. Typically you find shagbarks kind of scattered throughout the woods. These are all like 1,000 of them planted in a couple of acres. It's on an old Algonquin canoe route, so these trees are probably at least descendant from some nice cultivar trees, and we've tasted the nuts from their parents and they were absolutely delicious. So it's spring planting season, and today we're going to be planting some shagbark hickories. We've got about 20 here to do. They've got these nice big long tap roots, but the tops look like they're super duper tiny. We're going to put these ones in the woods. We've already been planting in this area here where we prepped in the fall, planting hazelnuts. But these ones are going in the woods. So we put together some of these tree tubes. We need to go harvest some stakes. But these tree tubes will basically sit right on top of the hickory, and that's going to help us. It'll mark where it is. It's also going to keep the deer off of the hickory, especially this time of year when the tree's sucking up all the sugar that it's stored in the roots over the winter. They become super tasty, and we don't want them to get nibbled on by those deer. So let's head in the woods, we'll find a nice clearing, and get these guys planted up. Alright, I think I found the spot. So I got this little bit of grass tipped me off. There's some light getting in here. I can see around me. Here's one, these big dead and dying ash and elm. Which means that this spot is a good candidate for getting replanted. Out behind me there's a bunch of shrubs. A lot of that's buckthorn, so that's great. We can try to outcompete this buckthorn, or at least plant something that we'd prefer to have and keep the buckthorn back manually. But I'm going to dig some holes here, and I think this is a great spot. It's right along our trail, so we'll walk by it often and keep a good eye on it. There's deer poop all over the place, so I'm glad we brought the tree tubes. Otherwise these would get probably chewed down pretty aggressively. Let's get planting. Look what I found. These are the husks off some old shagbark hickory nuts. Nice to know we're on the right track, that the squirrels are experts at where things should be planted, so if they think shagbark should go here, so do we. Well, there you have it. There's 20 hickories in the ground. It took us about an hour and a half to all said and done. This may seem kind of labor intensive for a pretty small area in a 25-acre forest. But I think if you take into account the thoughtfulness of the location and the actual species that we chose, it's pretty easy to grab a handful of cheap white pine plugs and go running around the woods planting 100, probably in about the same amount of time. But chances are, if you're staring at the ground in your spade, you're probably going to be planting half of them in not really viable spots. So here we made sure, I put some shovels in the ground, made sure the soil was nice and deep. We made sure there's going to be light, so we see grass on the ground. We found signs of other hickories in the area. We know that this is the right soil for them. So I think that 20 of them have a pretty good chance of being successful. Which when you do 3 or 4 of these a year, plus if you haven't seen our video on the swamp nursery with all those cuttings, you can really turn your forest around pretty quickly with comparatively less work, I think, than replanting pines every 5 years and watching them fail. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a good day. If you enjoy this kind of content, you want to see more tree planting, please like and subscribe. We're always coming out with new videos, and we got a decent backlog showing where these hickories actually came from. So you can go take a look at that. Thanks again.
Happy spring, everyone. As it is now, snow is gone, things are thawing out. We're turning our attention to when in the summer, when there's going to be no water. Right now, we're in a low part of our land. We've got a lot of water coming in through here, through our drainage ditch that we're working to kind of naturalize. But in the meantime, we're working on grabbing this water and pumping it up to our orchards just over this hill here. So we're running some PEX tubing through the woods to our orchards, and then we're going to be building a solar panel, a solar pump right here. So it's going to grab this water and shoot it up to where we can use it to water our plants.